Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the crazy but true stories that always seem to take place in Florida. So if you are just now tuning in our podcast, or even if you are a seasoned listener, you may have noticed a brand new intro last week and this week. And what is happening is for the month of October, we are focusing on the spooky and the weird and the abnormally crazy things in Florida.
I feel like I should be at a seance listening to that.
That was a weird one.
Or a
for
campfire.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know why Cam wears a hula skirt and hula dances during it.
Whenever we said strange, I don't think he really understood what we were talking about.
No. But need the whole scenario laid out.
Exactly.
You do the music.
So just in case you're wondering, we're not going to get too crazy. It's still going to be a fun, lighthearted show that you love. But if you are new, we usually have a different intro and a different overall vibe. So that's what we're doing. And I would love, since we're on the topic of being scared.
Yes, please.
Maybe have some headlines.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so headlines.
Hey there.
Woo. I've got two headlines tonight,
Thank you.
both about Florida women.
There's
Come
more than
on.
that on that forehead. There's more headlines than two. Hey, man, you're getting older, Cam.
So, Florida woman
Okay.
somehow gets past airport security
Mm-hmm.
and onto a Delta airplane without a boarding pass.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Just as a mechanic, I assume.
So, a passenger flying from Orlando to Atlanta found another woman sitting in her assigned seat when she boarded the plane.
I hate when that happens.
Oh,
So she asked the woman to move. She refused.
Wow.
So a flight attendant was called over.
Uh-huh.
And through this discussion, flight attendant realized that the woman sitting in the seat wasn't even listed on the plane's manifest.
Come on.
Okay, wow. It went through there? It went all the way there?
Because
Yep.
she was a ghost.
No. Oof, that was good.
So a supervisor and the pilot of the plane
Uh-huh.
came over. They were not able to get the woman to leave either.
No.
Hmm.
I mean, she just
Okay.
kind of
Wow.
owned it.
Yeah.
And just sat there.
Did she
So-
stick with her story? Like, no, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oof.
So when they asked
Love
her to see her boarding pass, she just kept saying she threw it away after boarding. Naturally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where?
Well, kind of like
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a limited.
Like on the
area
ground,
to
there's no
throw.
trash can. I've never seen a trash
That's
can.
true.
No,
That's
I
true.
haven't seen that.
But when they asked her for her ID,
Oof.
she would just show them a picture of herself on her phone.
Oh,
Say, this is
that's
me.
Gold.
I mean, this is when you
This
can
is
tell
gold.
she's like really owning
Uh-huh.
whatever lie she's coming up.
That's
with.
good.
So police were called. They were able to obviously take her off the plane.
Uh-huh.
And after an hour, they realized that she had never been through security.
Goodness.
So this was when everything got super serious.
Yep.
So the plane was then searched by dogs
Jeez.
and TSA agents. Every single passenger had to be patted down,
Oof.
and their bags were searched again.
Oh
the
my
whole
goodness.
entire plane was
Good
searched again.
Lord.
So the thing is, they still don't know as of
What?
now how she was able to get past security and onto the plane. So it wasn't just
Yeah, 'cause she has to get in the building, right?
yeah, how do you make it past security, first of all? But then how do you also get on the plane
Yeah.
without them realizing that you don't
It's
have a
called
boarding
confidence.
pass?
You act like you know what you're doing.
And then you sit there and say, "This is my ID," and just show them the picture on your
That's
phone.
kind of
I
the big
imagine
flaw
like
of
I
that.
imagine her holding up her phone with her, picture and
Uh-huh.
saying, "Here's my ID," and the pilot being like, "Got us."
Dang it.
Dang it.
We didn't expect that.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
look at that photo again. Okay,
Yeah.
it is her.
I feel like she's either A, really attractive because pretty people get away with stuff,
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
God,
do a lot. I know.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
B, something mystic is happening. Something
Oh.
she's a superhuman. Maybe
She might be.
somehow.
Okay.
Boo.
Yeah.
Jeez, he keeps getting me.
I know. So what happened? What was there? She go to jail?
I don't know.
Or they just kick her out of the airport?
I think, I think that she went to, no, I don't know.
They're like, don't come back.
I'll be honest, that's where the article ended.
He's like, I don't care what happened.
But I feel like I can't even put her in the shame corner because she didn't. I mean, who cares?
I mean, she definitely did something wrong, but it wasn't super shameful. I don't understand.
It's kind of, it's just kind of
there's no motive right now. They don't know why she did it or how she did
probably
it.
a free flight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's more of a David Blaine move.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out in the next few days. So.
Did they pat her on the back and just be like, I mean, good job.
You got us. She's teaching them now.
Yeah.
She's teaching them how to do security.
TSA probably roughed her up, though.
Oh, for sure.
Her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, next headline. Florida woman celebrated her 107th birthday on October 4th.
Come on.
Goodness, we've probably done a story about her.
Probably. And says that her secret to long living is drinking a Coca-Cola every day, being happy and active.
Come on.
No, listen, guys. When you start getting that old, you start getting mail.
Yeah.
That says, I know you're going to be on like Good Morning America.
That's true.
With what's his name?
They're going to
Smuckers
ask, thing?
Yeah, they're going to ask you the same dumb question.
Right.
With your degree.
Right.
We'll pay you a quarter.
So you're saying
old people don't know
that like corporations are sending them like for free advertisement?
That's actually pretty.
That's actually genius.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
We might should try that.
Yeah. Who's
the reason I lived 107 years is because I've been listening to Florida Man on Florida Man.
Come on.
So we need to contact her if she gets to.
That way she can tell Al Roker about us.
Yeah.
We need to contact her. Get her to 108.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that someone survived that long in Florida.
Yeah, me too.
That's impressive.
So Frances Brassey is her name.
Cool.
Usually celebrates her birthday with her son Wayne.
Oh, come on.
Her son is 71 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Well, guys.
Her son.
Oh, wow.
How do I look?
He visits every single week, takes her to dinner and to get her hair done.
Country Kitchen buffet.
This birthday, Wayne wasn't able to be there. So the assisted living facility that she lives in threw her a birthday with all her friends. They had cake and wine and a singer for live entertainment. And like I said, when they asked about like her secret to living, she said a Coke. So Frances was born on October 4th, 1912 in Harleton, Montana.
She would be about 107 years old.
Just about.
Yeah, I guarantee.
Spot on.
Yep.
So when I'd read this story and I'm like, 1912, like that seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
So I did some research, and here's what else was happening in 1912.
This is exciting.
All right.
I wish you would do this with all your stories.
All right. So in 1912, there were 46 states in the United States.
Wow.
And we're going to name them.
That year, New Mexico and Arizona joined.
Okay. Welcome.
Congrats.
In January of 1912, the first train arrived in Key West, Florida.
Yeah.
With Henry Flagler on board, who was the creator and owner.
Oh my goodness.
That's so neat.
We come full circle.
Yep. China's last dynasty comes to an end and the Republic of China is formed.
Wow.
Not sure that's going too well right now.
Yeah.
Oreos were introduced in the U.S.
Okay. In the U.S., that's shady.
Yeah, who invented
I don't know.
Oreos? Huh.
I thought it was Mom and Pa Oreo.
Me too.
The Titanic sunk in
No.
1912.
Too soon, bro.
Montenegro declares war against the Ottoman Empire.
Good
This
Lord.
is in that year.
So that's just insane.
When you start throwing out Ottoman Empire, it's like, whoa. But then I say Oreos, it's like, oh, that was... Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
That was hop, skip, and a jump away.
Woodrow Wilson wins over Teddy Roosevelt for presidency.
Okay.
Cool.
2 days after Frances was born, there was an assassination attempt on Teddy Roosevelt. He was shot in the chest.
What?
And gave a speech still with a bullet in his chest.
Oh, but back then bullets were weak.
Yeah.
Weak bullets back then.
Rolled up cotton.
Yeah.
And Frances's great uncle was a part of Louisiana Purchase.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, just some things that were happening when this lady was born in 1912.
I love it. If we can let's see if we can get Frances on the show.
Yeah, I think so.
See if
hopefully
we can get our
sooner rather than later.
We might have to go to her.
Yeah. Well, we've never done that before, so if she can't make it here, don't worry about it. But
yeah.
No, that's awesome,
Frances,
man.
you know how to Skype?
Get her on the Amtrak.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That is so cool. I love those headlines, man.
Those are good, positive headlines.
I know. I kind of want to stop the show now. I feel so good.
All right,
Let's
clock
do it.
out.
All right.
guys.
We'll see you.
ya. Boom. Gotcha.
Got me.
Hey, fellas.
Hey,
Hey.
man.
So I got a letter via email.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Nobody sends postage anymore.
I know. It's weird. It's a dying art.
Not since
some would
5
say.
episodes ago.
Some would say it's a dying trend.
Oh.
Okay.
This person said, love those stories from when you were young.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys ever follow any trends that you no longer follow now?
Okay.
Or are you setting a trend and then you stuck with it for the last 20 years?
That's the danger because if you stick with a trend, you're no longer relevant.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
stuck.
I'd say me.
Okay.
I used to wear white Adidas Stan Smiths.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if y'all glance down,
Oh.
You're still wearing them.
Trendsetter.
well, these, I don't have laces anymore because I'm getting older.
So you just do the Velcro.
Just Velcro.
Let's
away.
hear that Velcro.
I can't bend down.
That's
I have
true.
a special stick.
The
for
problem with
those.
you is that it doesn't matter what you wear. You look so good. So it makes it seem like you're doing it to be cool.
That's
Well,
true.
people always say, Josh, from the knees down, you're a 10.
Mm-hmm.
From the knees up, you're an 11.5.
Good. Yep. That's the end of that statement.
Somewhere in the center.
So you guys, did y'all always wear cool polo shirts?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. What trends did y'all follow that you no longer do?
I'm not gonna lie. There used to be this site called MySpace.
Heard
Yes.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and I just remember like
Tom, right?
it was like the first like foray into like social media, and so I think I just wanted everything about it to be perfect, and so like I would like obsess over the song that I had in the background.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
The
yeah.
graphics.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
song in the background of my MySpace was the one by Imogen Heap. That's like
The
What's
vocoder one?
yeah, like
Uh-huh.
where
Sing it.
are we? That
Yeah.
one. I thought it was really edgy because it was like what the hell,
Uh-huh.
and then
Oh,
yeah,
the
I was
hell?
like I'm that kid, but I also paid a kid like $99 to
What?
like
Jeez.
yeah to like decorate my MySpace for me, like change the background.
What?
Yeah.
You were the one person that paid for a custom MySpace?
I remember that being a thing. Like,
It was a big
people
deal,
would
man.
advertise themselves as, and this is back when I was 2 years old. but
Right.
people would advertise
Uh-huh.
themselves as like MySpace,
like
programmers. But I
Okay.
mean, they weren't programming anything.
yeah,
but-
they're just dropping like yeah. But the thing is, you probably
Wow.
read about that in your history class.
yeah, it was in the history book.
But yeah,
and that book was falling apart.
Yeah.
I was super into it. But what's even worse is my sister got MySpace famous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that was kind of awkward because it was around the time that I went to college, and then I came back and she had all these famous friends, and I was like, man, I tried so hard to be good. I paid $99 to be good at MySpace, and then she mastered it. So that was mine. How about you, Cameron?
You guys remember inflatable furniture?
Definitely.
Like the blow up,
could-
clear, neon color
yeah.
inflatable
Yep.
furniture?
I couldn't
I
afford
had
it.
some.
Couldn't afford it?
No.
Well, I had some.
Nice.
Okay.
Only because one weekend, a couple friends,
Uh-huh.
we went over to another friend. Well, I was probably
Listen to all these
in
friends.
fifth grade.
You had a lot of friends back
Yeah.
All
then.
these friends.
So all 25 of my friends. No, we
That's called a class.
we went over to our friend's house, and his dad had started this like part-time job
Oh,
kind of
gosh.
thing back when eBay was like huge.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the weekends, he would be selling stuff on eBay.
Wow.
Okay.
So he'd buy stuff, resell it,
Yep.
trying to turn a profit. And one weekend we got there, and there were dozens
What?
of inflatable furniture.
Come on.
They weren't inflated though.
Right.
Okay.
So this is like the first time I had seen it.
Uh-huh.
Well, he basically said if we would help him, blow them all up,
Clean the blood.
and
off
clean
of
them and see which ones worked and which ones,
Wow.
that he would give us a chair to take home. But we had to do all this work like
This
all
is-
day. So I went over to hang out and play video games.
Yes.
And I ended up getting put to work.
All you got's a balloon chair.
And all I got was a inflatable furniture chair that had duct tape over the holes.
Oh,
oh my god.
Because
Oh, my God.
every single one had holes in them. But he sold them on eBay.
Did you have to carry it home?
Yeah.
I feel like it's
I did.
almost cooler to leave them deflated, and then when someone comes over, you can just kind of toss it and be like, "Hey, blow it up, have a seat."
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, we were playing with them though. Like we were, punching them and
Okay.
throwing them at each
This
other.
is why the
A
duct tape.
friend
yeah.
of mine was going punching it like a punching bag,
Yes.
bag, and
Good
all of a
visuals
sudden
here. I wish you could be here, crowd.
the kid that was holding it put it down for a second to say something. Boom, punched in the face.
Right in the kisser.
Right in the kisser.
Honestly, you should look into the child labor laws because it sounds like this guy's dad was violating.
Oh yeah. We had to pick up sticks another weekend. He said,
What?
we would get
Okay.
10 cents for every stick we picked up.
What?
We never saw that money.
No, of course you didn't, because that'd be like $1 million.
That's when you take the long
It was
stick
rough.
and you start breaking it.
Yeah, you could use a rake and make $10 in like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Never happened. I just
I
got
don't-
an inflatable chair with holes in it.
Since we
How
don't
long
have
did
it,
you keep it though.
Like a week maybe.
Nice.
I couldn't keep it blown up.
That's about the lifespan.
I spent more time putting air in it than I could sit in it.
did you have any embarrassing trends that you followed?
My mother was a hairstylist.
Okay,
So I was always on the cutting edge.
right.
But
That was the name of her salon, actually.
cutting edge
Right.
hairstyles.
Right.
Josh's mom's cutting edge
Yeah.
hairstyles. So since my parents were divorced, I didn't always have the cool cuts,
Okay,
but I
right.
wanted to portray the cool hairstyle.
Okay,
So when you get taken to an Eckerd or a Food Lion
Jeez.
as a kid, and you see Sun-In,
yeah, that's right.
What's sun in?
Sun-In is somehow, I don't know why it's even sold to kids. It's basically a bottle of bleach that kids spray on their hair.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And you can tell who's used it because their head is a Sun-In orange.
It's not a natural
Wait, what?
blonde color.
So it's like peroxide, basically.
It is not
no,
salon.
that's actually
Yeah,
peroxide
it
makes your
probably
hair
is.
brighter than Sun-In would.
Yeah.
Sun-In,
So it's not a good product at all. I mean,
No, I'm not a dark brunette here. I have some nice locks,
yeah, he does.
but adding Sun-In to it just turned it orange. And that was embarrassing.
yeah, sounds like
I didn't keep following that until now,
Whenever I was actually in high school,
but it had a great smell.
I didn't use, yeah, it did. I didn't use Sun-In, but I did. I think it would be cool to bleach
Oof.
like a spot on the side of my hair.
Mhm.
It was kind of this emo
Just like a
thing,
patch?
right? I'm
Oh,
kind of an angsty kid.
Well, like
The-
birthmarks. People that have birthmarks.
Well,
up
that's
there,
what it looked
right?
like. But the problem
That's
is
cool.
when I bleached this patch of my hair
Uh-huh.
from 10 feet away, it looked like I was just bald in that spot.
Mhm.
So people were like, "You, okay? What happened?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "No, this is cool, right?"
Did you get hit by a clipper?
Yeah. And so then I updated my MySpace photo, and then we were good to go.
Yeah, turning your head the opposite direction.
That's a fantastic letter. I'm glad that was sent
Yeah, it brought me back some good memories.
in. Yeah.
I don't even know if they sell Sun-In anymore.
I'm still waiting on that money from them sticks.
Myrtle Rooter was born on March 17th, 1945 in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh,
Nice.
she's
1945.
Above
Myrtle
75
Rooter.
years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
If she was still alive, she'd be above 75.
Mhm.
Yep.
Myrtle was a very creative child. Even at a young age, she was impressing people with how artistic she was.
Okay.
So, for example, when she was 3 years old, she was painting with kids in her Sunday school class.
Mhm.
And she was able to basically paint the room she was in like really descriptively. So while other kids were kind of painting the outside of the church, like a square building,
Mhm.
2 windows, she's painting like point of view, like her chairs, the people in the room.
Okay.
It was really impressive.
So she wasn't getting compliments like, "You're great."
Right. So there were people were
They're
walking by and
legit.
going like, "Holy crap, that kid's
Okay.
amazing." It was so detailed, in fact, that the church, Trinity Presbyterian, decided to hang
Shout
it in their foyer, where it was displayed for 30 years.
Wow.
Jeez, what?
She was 3 years old
Three?
when this happened.
Okay.
That's
Uh,
impressive.
So you could tell
Well,
basically.
we haven't seen it.
yeah,
so.
yeah. What I was going to say to kind of describe it, you could tell a 3-year-old did it.
Yeah.
But I think
So it's not that good.
the fact that a 3-year-old was painting from POV and not like
Whoa, hello.
right. So her parents knew that she was gifted, and so they started encouraging her to kind of explore these talents.
Uh-huh.
So like basically, she's the kid every single birthday. She's asking for crayons, paint brushes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all she wanted to do.
Easy to buy for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In fact, her first really nice gift was given to her by her teacher at school. At Christmas time, she bought her a professional painter's easel.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever she was 6.
I've owned a couple of those. They break easy.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
But basically, I think everybody kind of believed in her. They was just like, man, this kid's gifted. She's got something going for her. And so,
I believe her.
Thank you.
For real.
All throughout elementary school, she would hand paint every birthday card for each classmate. So basically, whenever it was a kid's birthday, the school would give them a unique birthday card.
Okay.
But they would pay Myrtle a penny to do this.
Child
Wait,
labor.
they had to
Talk about
buy
child
their own
labor
birthday
laws.
cards?
Well, no, like the school would make a card for the kid, but instead of the teachers doing it, they would just pay this girl to do it.
I gotcha.
So
About a penny.
she's their peer, and a penny in 1955's a lot more, especially to
$50,000.
Yeah, to a kid, right? Yeah, exactly. So she used this money that she was making to basically save up and buy like really nice kind of stock paper.
Okay.
And then she would paint custom landscapes and then send them to these locations across the state.
Okay.
So for example, like if she was painting like a school, she would send it to that school and just for fun as a gift. Like,
She's like,
okay.
this is how I imagine your school looks like.
yeah, right, exactly.
So you're saying if we do an episode about a location, we should send the CD of the episode
Yes.
to the location.
Same concept.
And I'll paint it and we'll send a picture of it.
It's the exact same concept. So basically, she's not trying to make money, but people were like responding via mail and saying like, "Thank you so much. This is amazing. Like this is so cool."
Yeah.
But it was like kind of one occasion. This one church, she painted it, sent it in, and the pastor responded and basically said, "Would you and your family come visit us this Sunday? We want to thank you for this gift. The congregation wants to give you something."
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a
so.
trap.
Yeah, in 2019, that's a trap.
That's
That's a trap.
Yes.
Back then, it was good news because they traveled out. It was about 45 minutes away. And the congregation gave Myrtle $75
Wow.
for her painting, which by today's standards would
That's like
equal
$5 million.
$700.
Okay, that's
About.
good.
Yeah.
Round up.
To a 10-year-old girl, that's a big
$5
deal.
million. That's
Yeah.
about $5 million to a 10-year-old.
Almost.
So she continues painting local landscapes, but now because word is spreading, like more and more people are starting to pay her for it.
Oh,
So after that first one, people are now like sending her checks in the mail, basically.
She's
hey,
like a legit
this is
professional
phenomenal.
artist.
yeah,
at
she's
this
like, it's
point.
about time.
right.
I write on the back, hey, I'm only 7 years old. Would you send money?
I'm starving. By the time Myrtle Rooter was in high school, she had made enough money to pay for her first 2 years of college.
Wow.
Jeez.
$45,000.
That's
What?
a mistake. She got natural
By
talent.
by today's standards.
Okay.
$45,000.
It's like $10 million back then.
Well, yeah. And her parents were really caring because like they basically made sure she wasn't like getting a big head, like her personality wasn't changing. And they were encouraging her to spend a tiny little bit for yourself, but then save it.
Nice.
Right? Save it for your future.
In our bank account.
Yeah. And don't look at it ever. But her future changed drastically when she was at the age of 17. Myrtle Rooter received a letter in the mail from the University of Miami stating that her college tuition would be paid in full if she chose to enroll in their art program.
Wow.
Yes,
She's got a lot
please.
more spending money too.
Because she'd been saving for
Yeah.
school. Now she's got a full ride.
She's got lots of crayons to buy.
Yeah, so the story of her artwork had spread so far, that even down in South Florida, they were like, hey, come to school here. We're going to pay for
That's
it.
awesome.
They're like, well, you sent us like 10 paintings of the college campus.
Yeah, exactly. So she did just that. And in 1963, she graduated with honors with her degree in visual arts.
Wow.
And so by this point, like she's really, really well known in the art community. Like she's not like famous. Like you wouldn't recognize her walking down the street. But
it's tough being an artist.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but she's well known like in that community. And so she's making a really good living. So she never moved out of this small house that she rented next to the university.
Wow.
So when she graduated, she stayed there for 10 years and just did commission artwork
She loves her craft.
and making a ton of money.
What?
Jeez.
So she eventually had this
here
little
we
bitty
go.
house kind of paid off. Like she's just kind of, and
Here
she's
we
very
go.
frugal.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point in time, you know, in her late 20s, she's like, you know, I'm gonna do something for myself. I've got all this
Cam, what do you
money.
think it is?
Like,
I think it's a Rolex.
it's a
I'd
Rolex.
buy a nice fancy watch.
She's getting a Lambo.
Getting a Lambo.
we'll
That's
see.
what I'm talking about.
She bought a brand new pair of water skis.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, I didn't see that coming.
No, basically, she decides she needs to buy a larger house, like some property. Like, she
yeah.
wants to just kind of upgrade.
Bunch of canvases. She's probably stretching her own canvas.
Exactly. So she's driving around looking for places. She starts visiting cities, and one weekend, after weeks of travel, she absolutely falls in love with this 2-story Spanish colonial house in Key West.
Hey.
And so she not only loves the location, but she loves the scenery. And she's like, this is going to provide all kind of like inspiration for what she feels like is the next step in her career.
Those
like
artists have to be inspired.
Oh, yeah, they have to be inspired.
You know how they are
it already.
So demanding.
Yeah.
Well, just do your job.
Basically, this house, it was property of the city.
Okay.
No one lived there. And so there was like an assigned real estate agent.
Because it was haunted?
Maybe.
Okay.
Trying to sell it.
Boo.
And so, yeah, the following day, Myrtle and the real estate agent kind of met and they discussed the house's history. As it turns out, the owner of the house passed away 2 years prior and the home's been on the market ever since.
Choking on paint?
It could be.
Oh.
So Myrtle was so excited about the idea of moving in that she said she would take it at cost, no negotiations.
Jeez.
Like, she's like, let me have it. And so it had more space than she could have ever needed. And it even had a room in the front with this really large window. And she's like, that's what I'm going to turn into my art studio. Because her idea was I could display my newest paintings in the window.
Oh, my goodness.
And so when people kind of walk by, and this is Key West in the 50s, it's famous folks are living there. People are walking by. In the house where she bought it, like it's where everybody kind of walks to and
Robert
fro.
the Doll's down there.
Right.
Captain Saloon.
Kevin Hook.
You know it.
Yeah.
And so in her mind, she's like, yeah, I'm doing commissions, but if I can display my paint,
Boom, baby.
I'm making
basically
even
got
more
a
money.
storefront.
Right.
Wow.
So she moves in like kind of just enough to get comfy, meaning that like there's boxes everywhere. She's got a mattress down in the bedroom.
Amen.
But the only thing she fully unpacks.
That's where you put the mattress?
Yeah, but the only thing she fully unpacks is her art supplies.
Yeah.
She's ready to get at it. So after living there for a week and working on this beautiful piece, Myrtle decides it's time to place it in the window and see if anybody shows any interest.
All right.
But she gets nervous. She's putting it on display, and she's like, usually I send these paintings off.
Yeah, because
this is
one
different.
says,
She doesn't have to
F
deal
the
with
locals.
Like
Right. And so she puts this painting up.
I love Miami. That's what it said.
Oh,
Yeah. She put this painting up, and she decides to leave for lunch.
Okay.
And they kind of come back.
Nice.
So on her way back from lunch, she notices a crowd of people standing around the house.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
And so she walks up kind of excited and anxious,
Yeah.
only to realize that the painting had been completely vandalized.
What?
Okay.
So the
Wasn't expecting that.
the beautiful portrait of her house now has red and blue paint stripes all over it. And at the bottom, there's these scribble marks that looks as if almost like someone was trying to write something,
Okay.
but you couldn't really make it out. Myrtle Rooter is absolutely devastated. But what's interesting is when she left her house, she left the door locked, and the door was still locked.
Okay.
So,
And this was, and the painting was inside the house.
it's inside the house in the window sill facing out into the main street. And so this really confused her. So she comes in the house and she calls the cops.
Oof.
The cops come, they search the property, and there's no signs of a break-in anywhere. And so they basically suggest to her, if you see anybody weird hanging out, come call us, but we can't do anything. I mean, it is there's no proof of anything.
Not sleeping there? Nope.
So that night, for obvious reasons, she has trouble sleeping. And at around 3:30 a.m.,
Oh, goodness.
she hears the unmistakable sound of someone walking in her attic.
Nope. I think that's probably my
I'm out.
number 16 fear.
Yeah.
It's
And
someone
so
in my attic.
she lives alone.
Oof.
There's no one else supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because maybe she was like, I don't know what I would do in the situation, but instead of running away, she basically goes and sits right by the front door and watches the staircase.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she's
pretty
like,
good
a
idea.
quick out. That is
Yeah.
a good
if someone comes down, I can run, whatever. Nothing ever happened. Eventually, the footsteps stopped. The sun came up,
Wow.
and she goes back to the cops. And she's like, hey, like I know for a fact I heard somebody in my attic.
See, this
Cops
is a
come to her
story
house.
that I can go, okay, every move she makes is logical.
She's smart.
Yeah.
Right. They go up the stairs, and the cops are like, okay, we'll check the attic if you want to. She follows them up there. They pull the ladder down. They climb up and search in the attic. And there's nothing but really some old boxes of books, a few chairs. But one thing stood out. And in the far corner of the room, in a small rocking chair, was a doll.
Oh my gosh. Don't even. Do not.
What's happening?
Do not.
Myrtle goes and she dusts it off, and she realized that it must have belonged to the
Goodness.
children of the previous owners.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So she felt like it was too cute to leave in the attic. So she brought it down and put it in the windowsill
Why?
No.
facing the road.
Jeez.
Over the course of the next few weeks, strange things began to happen around Myrtle's house.
Okay.
For example, she would find painting supplies upstairs in random rooms opposed to downstairs in the studio.
Well, there's just suggestions. You should paint this room this color.
Yeah.
The windows in the kitchen would be open when she never opened the windows.
Okay. Yeah.
But the most aggravating thing to her was that no matter where she left the paintings, she would always find them with little scribble marks on the bottom.
What the?
So
hold on. I got a theory. Carbon monoxide.
Yes.
it could be.
They didn't have those little alarms.
They didn't have the things. Yeah.
It was as if someone was basically trying to send her a message, and in her mind, that's what she believed.
Oh, goodness.
So every time these strange occurrences would happen, Myrtle would call the cops. The cops would come and be like, "I don't know what to tell you, man."
Bro,
I at this point they think she's kind of crazy. She's an out of towner, just bought property.
She's an artist.
She's an artist.
Yeah,
right.
So you get that.
So the issue is it's really messing with her creative flow. Like, she can't paint. She's not selling anything.
She's not inspired.
She's struggling.
Bingo.
So she goes to the doctor.
Oh, goodness.
And the doctor in town's giving her this checkup, and Myrtle starts telling him all these strange things that happened to her. And she goes, he kind of pauses and he goes, "Wait, where did you say you live?"
Oh,
no.
And she goes, she told him, "I live on Eaton Street in a 2-story house." And he said, "Well, you know about Eugene Otto and his dog, right?"
No way. No way.
She's like, "No, I've never listened to the first episode of Florida Man on Florida Man podcast."
She should.
No, she's like, I'm not from here. I haven't heard about that at all. So he proceeds to tell her about Eugene Otto, and he's this guy that basically
my goodness.
This is Robert the dog.
we discussed it in
This
episode
is
1.
No way.
He had this doll gifted to him as a child by this voodoo lady that his father had basically pissed off.
You can't even joke about him. I made a joke about him mid-episode.
And the doll plagued this guy's family his entire life until he died.
Yeah.
So this is 2 years prior to her buying the house and moving in.
Goodness.
So Myrtle couldn't believe what she was hearing. And so she rushed home. She takes the doll out of the window
Bad move.
and she throws it out back
Oh, no.
into the garbage.
That's not going to end well for her.
And she said that for the first time, she felt like the house felt like clear and clean.
Okay.
That evening,
gosh.
she's struggling to go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And so she goes to the studio to paint. And as she's painting, she hears giggling down the hallway.
Okay. I'm moving out.
Yeah.
And at this point,
I'm moving out of the studio.
I don't know if she's exhausted or angry, but she sprints towards the hallway to try and find the source of the laughter.
To like catch him?
I think so. But there's nothing.
Once you get
there's no
teed
one
off
there.
enough, you'll go after it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But while she's standing there looking at an empty hallway, she hears footsteps above her head in the attic. But this time, instead of calling the cops, she's either brave or crazy. She pulls the ladder down to the attic.
Oh, my God.
She goes into the attic.
Say it.
And on the other side of the room, the doll is sitting in the original rocking chair.
Okay. I'm over this guy.
Yeah.
So over the course of the next few years, locals described seeing Myrtle at all hours of the night roaming around downtown Key West.
Oh, goodness.
She claimed that she was looking for inspiration for her paintings, but she never sold any paintings, and she never even, did anything artistic besides just roam around talking to herself. Like, she basically was scared to be at home at nighttime.
Okay.
Just leave.
Occasionally, locals would walk by her house and see canvases sitting in the window, but they weren't paintings. They were just scribble marks and looked like handprints that smeared paint across, the canvas.
This is the worst.
After years of mental torture and numerous efforts to basically remove or destroy the doll, Myrtle gets a letter in the mail, and it's from the East Martello Museum, explaining that they have heard of the legend and they've heard all these different complaints and all this different stuff. They're offering to take Robert the doll from her.
Okay.
So she's attempted multiple times to remove it, to destroy it. She can't do it. She agrees to it. And they say, we're going to put it in a completely secure glass box. And this is exactly where he sits till this day.
Oh, my goodness.
No one really knows what happened to Myrtle after that. When she gave the doll up, she sold the home on Eaton Street. And as far as anyone knows, she's never sold another painting. And since she left Key West, no one knows what happened to her. That's the end of what we know about her.
Unbelievable story.
But just like we discussed with Robert the doll, in the first episode of our show, he went on to become a legend. The movie Chucky was based off of the doll.
Yeah.
True.
And to this day, in the museum where he sits in the glass case, tens of thousands of guests come to visit him every single year. And a lot of those people describe, at best, feeling weird near him. At worst, they say they have awful luck when they leave the museum. Terrible things happen. So they write letters to this doll apologizing.
Don't take his photo without
don't
asking.
Take his photo.
Don't talk bad about him.
Don't be rude to him.
Yeah.
So we still don't know if the doll is cursed or if it's group hysteria, but we do know that both people who owned the house on Eaton Street in Key West, while Robert the doll was there, they both went insane. They both had their lives ruined.
That one's insane.
Yeah.
And
that's scary.
I don't know if we want to say anything else out of risk of maybe like offending Robert the doll, but that is a story.
And the doll is interesting looking. Let's say that.
If you Google
look at it, I mean, if you look up a picture of Robert the doll, what's it made out of? It's like,
I don't know, like cork and
it looks like cork
and cigarettes.
Yeah, it is really. I wouldn't say that.
I mean, I don't mean it offensively.
We'll delete it so he doesn't hear it.
Cigarettes.
No, but it is pretty freaky to think that, like, you know, not one but two families had very similar experiences.
Yes.
The part that was really strange to me is that her first reaction was to take it out of the attic and put it in the window, which is exactly what Eugene Otto did.
That's weird.
Because I never see dolls in windows. Nobody's posing their dolls.
No, and what's fascinating is Eugene Otto.
Why would you touch a doll in the attic anyways?
In the original story, he would say that the doll told him to put it in the window. Yeah. And so her first reaction was to take it and put it in the window. So super creepy. Yeah, and so you can see where the legend came from. But that is a story of Myrtle Rooter.
I think we should send Greg down there to see Robert the doll.
Hey, that's what we should do.
Absolutely. Send a more willing and better documentarian down there.
Yeah. Greg, you game?
Yeah. I think we should just make him go.
Let's do it.
Okay. Cool.
Let's do it right now. Well, it's been a good week. We love you guys and appreciate you. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for putting up with our spooky stuff this October.
Oof, that was bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you need cheered up, message us on FMOFM Podcast on any social media platform, or go to FMOFM.com. You can listen to episodes, follow Aubrey's travel blog, or read Josh's movie reviews.
Oh, yeah.
And just say hello. We love you. Thank you for supporting the show with your donations and your reviews. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Boo.